I've got to be honest, I actually have lost hope in our movement as conservatism. And I hate to say that because I feel like that's such a Debbie Downer thing to say. And I feel like I'm saying, the end of the world, gloom and doom, but that's not what I'm actually saying. But I am saying that that's why I do prepare. That's why I do try to build skills and have independence, because, man, some of the things that just come out with, who voted for whom, how these votes were happening. You're going to be blown away at who actually is voting and the people they're voting for. Now, it's a free country. We want everyone to vote, but sadly, no one is actually educated in what they're voting for. We're going to discuss the voting numbers and how it's caused me to actually lose hope in America unless we rebuild the family. It'll make sense once we go into the numbers. Wait till you hear this, because without men building their families, I don't think there's a chance for Republicans and conservatism to actually thrive in America. We'll discuss that. Also, we're going to discuss a warning to Christians, a new mayor from Idaho. Idaho. We're not talking New York. We're not talking California. From Idaho. Talking about how Christians are second class, how they're a cult, how they just don't deserve certain things that we all get as Americans. Are we seeing the morals of America push away from a Christ version of conservatism? We've been talking about this lately when it comes to the hatred towards Israel, the hatred towards Christianity, the movement towards a more secular way, and Muslims are embracing this, by the way. But wait till you hear what he said, because it should wake us up as Christians. And then lastly, we're going to discuss how the leader and the person who built the internet is saying you're fixing to see the demise of the internet. It will collapse. And it's all because of AI. Wait till you hear who OpenAI, Sam Altman, one of the biggest names with the doomsday bunker, who believes that, things are fixing to get really bad and hates Elon but wants power. He's asking for the government to basically subsidize AI. So if the internet is dying, which is where people get information, AI comes along and the people of AI want to lead you, and then they're going to use the government money to do it. This is not going to be good for freedom. Wait to hear this story. We're going to talk about so much today, and a lot of good stories that need to make you open your eyes to what's really going on. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here. If you are new, please, we humbly ask that you go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. It means the world to us. Also, my other channel, I don't post a lot on it, but it's about a vlog, Life of Kobe Mack. Go check it out. Subscribe to it as well. Also, follow me on Facebook, Twitter. We're trying to share information all the time on those platforms. You can find me at Real Kobe Mack or The Kobe Mack. Now, let's jump into the stories of the day, because that's why you're here. First, let's talk about some of the issues that come out with the who voted, the demographics of the voting bloc that put some of these people in power. Let's just go over it, because it shows not only brainwashing, but shows again how I don't know if we can pull it out without restructuring our families and fixing our families. This is from the Rabbit Hole. It says the radicalization of American women is going to impact the politics for here until we cannot see the future and what it means. It says that women are, especially liberal women, but liberal in general, are voting fully to embrace a feministic style liberal ideology that is putting these Democrats in power and liberal women in power. It says women don't feel like a man can protect them, so therefore they look for the government to do it. That was actually from Influencer, and he said, it's sad because men have lost their place. Now that men's lost their place, women are looking to either take the power or allow government to take this power. Now, you don't believe me. Let's just go through a few numbers. I mean, this is my proof here, and you can hate the numbers, but the truth is, this is who voted. This is what is happening. I want you to listen to these numbers. 83% of young women voted for Mamdani. It came out that 90% of black people did not vote for the African American in the race, the Republican in the Virginia race, Winsome Sears, which again, she was not really a true conservative, but for Virginia, I guess she was. Of that, they said 80% of black women and white women voted for Spanberger. Now, Spanberger was a white woman, so it gave them, there's no really cause for worry here, other than the fact that even African Americans did not vote for an African American. They voted for the white lady who is willing to give them Section 8, more EBT. Also, she is for endless abortions. So the thing is this, even though they had someone in the race that was a black woman that they probably could have helped their families, they chose to go with the person who helps not have a man in the house and also helps keep funding a lot of the problems that are going on with the black population. Young women is the story for this election. 78%, of course, Spanberger, like we just talked about. 80% of Cheryl in New Jersey. 81% from Mamdani in New York City. The point is, without men taking over their homes, the point is that women are going to not stop voting for liberal ideology, even when liberal ideology ends up hurting them. I want to go to a story from Dearborn. It says, the mayor of Dearborn is giving a press conference in Arabic. He says, because what is proposed is 55% of Dearborn's population is Arab. There's no point in actually speaking to other people in this area other than majority Muslim. This is from Peter St. Onge. It says, from Michigan and Minnesota to New York City, mass migrations is driving radical socialists into power and promoting division. In Europe, migrant numbers are so big that it's destabilizing society. Now, the reason I bring that up is because the same women who say they want empowerment, the same women who don't want men in the homes to actually represent them, they want government, is the same women that's putting these kind of people in power. This leader and the Arabs that are starting to take over these elections, you know what? They're actually speaking out against women in leadership. They're actually speaking out against the things that our government has stood for so long as well. So what you're seeing is, just like Peter St. Onge said, they're manipulating the vote and getting these people to vote for them, then all of a sudden changing the story around and actually taking advantage of those same people. Prime example, I want you to listen to Mamdani. Remember, he promised everything. Remember that? Promised everything. Everything's free. Everything's going to be free. It's going to be free. I'm going to make it free. New York City can pay for it all. The day after the election, this is the announcement he just came out with. Update. Zohran Mamdani shocks his supporters by admitting things cannot be free. Remember how I told you to stop sending me money? Well, you can start again. This is an exact quote from him. I hope you will make a donation to the transition team and to our administration so we can help New York City. Another article came out and said he is actually asking for the working class people to keep donating to him so he can provide free good things for the people who are the working class. So he wants the working class to give him money to turn around and give it back to him. That sounds like stipend socialism and communism. That sounds like slave mentality, doesn't it? He put a whole propaganda video out about how he is needing people to give to him to start his campaign to make New York City stronger. Not one time did he brag on being American. Not one time did he brag on anyone in that stump speech, by the way. It was all immigrants. Do you know New York City is made up of a majority of immigrants? Over 65% of New Yorkers now, New York City, is immigrants. That's how he overwhelmingly won. This same city back in 1950 was 91%, white American. In 1910, it was almost 100%. Now, what does that represent? You may say, well, Colby, that's kind of trivial what you just said. Well, to be honest with you, look at the policies. Look at what's going to happen to the city. It was so funny. There was a lady that said there's $27 million poured into the last 2 days by billionaires to not want to get Mamdani elected. You know why? Because those same billionaires that you're complaining about are the ones that's going to have to pay for all this stuff. And if all of a sudden they leave, guess who he has to pay? He didn't go to the billionaires. He just made a propaganda video to take the money from the working class. If you don't donate, guess what he's going to do? He's going to raise everyone's taxes. Here, it's kind of like this. Did you see the affordable Obamacare? So Democrats were the only ones that ever voted for Obamacare. Republicans have done nothing to stop it, so I'm not giving them a pass. But do you realize the cost of Obamacare right now is going to cost most families so much money that they can't even afford it, so they're going to have to get off the plan. So what did it do? Government spending, saying things were going to be free, did not actually end up being free over just a few years because people have to pay for it. So we're seeing the same movement of this. Now, why do I keep saying what's the women's fault? No, it's actually the men's fault, because the men are not leading their homes and making sure we are getting the information that we're needing. Their kids are being indoctrinated in school that socialism is okay and capitalism is bad. Their kids are getting sent to colleges to tell them how bad America is. Also, these women are growing up without true fathers and leaders in their homes, to the point where they don't see any importance in it, so they're going to look for government to solve their problems. I've seen the most people from New York City, especially women, talking about how they cannot wait for free health care and free babysitting services so they can go to work. Boy, have we lost our way. That's why I've lost hope in America, unless we see a turn back to men in homes leading their family, Christian leaders, and conservatism. I'm sorry. There is no other answer other than Christian conservative men leading their homes in a reawakening and revival back in these cities. Before long, you will not be able to go into these cities, because it's going to be like a modern day Gotham. Today's sponsor is Chapter. Chapter has done so much to help 65 and older. This is open enrollment period, and man, when everybody's talking about the cost of everything going up, everything is going up. But Chapter comes alongside you. If you're 65 and older, about to be, and you're worried about Medicare and the spendings that you have with parts and medicines and supplements, let Chapter come alongside you and help you. They are there for you for free. Now, when Ma'am Donnie says free, it's not really free. When we talk about free for Chapter, it is. And actually, you're going to probably save some money in the long run too. They go alongside all these companies. They see what plan is best for you and personalize it. Make sure this is advised to benefit you and your family, not themselves. They don't make a commission off you. You don't pay them. They are taken care of in other ways to where you don't have to worry about it. They are taking care of you at no cost. And the average person who uses Chapter, guess what? Saves $1,100 a year. The average person who calls this number from my channel saves $1,100. That's a big deal. That's a lot of money. So please check with Chapter today. If you're worried about overspending and you think you can get a better deal, or you think there's a better deal out there, you're worried if this part or supplement is not right for you, please check with Chapter. I promise you, you'll be glad you did. 15-minute phone call can save you a lot of money. Check with Chapter today. Now I want to go to this mayor from Coeur d'Alene. I guess that's how you say in Idaho. I'm from Mississippi, so we don't have all these fancy words. We just say what the word is. So I don't understand this word, but I think it's Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So Dan Gukin, it says, this is a direct quote from him. Christian conservatives are mindless, cult member morons. They are white and racist. They can blank themselves and go to Hades. Now this is from a leader of a city. Now this goes along with what, if you remember, Dearborn, Michigan's mayor said the other day, that he was not allowing for Christian pastors to come on and actually speak to the board. Because of what you're seeing in the Republicans and how they've lost manhood, how they've lost Christian masculinity, how they lost the people in the homes that are supposed to be leading their families, this is what happens. We start moving away from the Bible, and we start interpreting it different. So then we're like, oh, well, Israel's bad. No, not really. You know, we do realize that Jesus was part of a Jewish lineage. We do realize that all throughout the Bible, no matter when they turned against him, Jesus stood beside, God stood with Israel. And in the end times in Revelation, we talk about Jerusalem and the people, the 12 tribes, and we talk about all this stuff. So the Christianity has a lot to still do with Israel and of course the Bible and end times. Now, that same push against Israel is the same push that's going against Christianity. So you're seeing this movement of feminism and socialism and secularism and Muslims, and now you're seeing that same push go against not only Israel but Christians. This is where you have to wake up. I get so emotionally passionate about it because we're seeing the breakdown of America right before our eyes. I feel like all hope is lost because we are losing our way. I don't care how much you call yourself a common grace conservative. I don't care how many times you say you're traditionalist. If you are not following Christ and you're not being the man of the home that you're supposed to be, and you're not building the family that we're supposed to be for your children to understand what true education, what true values are, what true morals are, we will fall as a nation. I think that's why you probably don't see America in the end times, because I'm scared to say I don't know how much power America's going to have when we're allowing for ourselves to absolutely fall into demise. And you have mayors, leaders of cities telling you to go to Hades as a Christian and that you're just mindless, that you're worthless, that you're a second-rate citizen. Doesn't that sound a lot like what happened in the World War II time? Doesn't that sound like a lot of the situations that took place that's going on right now with Christians in Kenya and Nigeria and Sudan? Do you not get how we're literally looking at our future is what's happening in India and what's happening in some of these other countries, even along with the UK? The destabilization of the UK is because the Christians were taken out of leadership and the morals, values, and traditional values were gone. And now look at what you've got. And it's happening here. Texas, you better watch out. Florida, you better watch out because they know. So goes Texas, so goes Florida, so goes the nation. They said Mamdani's funding was mostly from CARE, which is, the same group that was, Arab Islamic relations. It's the same group that actually helped fund a lot of terrorists and had ties to terrorists back in the last decades. And we wonder why there's a problem. And we wonder how in the world this guy got all the votes of all the liberal women. We wonder how in the world that liberal women are voting against themselves to actually have power because this religion does not believe in power of women. It's just mind-blowing to me. But again, it goes back to the breakdown of our family. And this guy, this person, this is Idaho, people. This is Idaho. This is not some liberal place. It's Idaho. And this mayor is calling shade on Christianity. See, that's how it starts. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. A little bit here, a little bit there. Well, now this whole city, this whole state's kind of moved away from Christianity. I mean, Colorado is one of those places that, too, you have to be very careful because they have really pushed against Christianity. California, of course, has. And we're starting to see, we don't even go here because this city is really turned away from Christian. You see how quick it can happen. Do you realize if we lose the House, Trump will go through another impeachment, probably, and nothing will get done. It'll be a lame dunk. So basically, we got nothing done during this last few months of Trump's leadership because of the Senate and Congress. Nothing's been passed. Nothing's been done. Everything's been, just basically washed out like it was never a big deal to win the election. And now we're going to see the fact that if we lose the midterms, because, man, we got trounced 2 days ago. If we lose the midterms, we lose it all. There will be no future conservative president because he's going to be embattled in court problems and hearings all the time. You know what's so funny? I love this comment. I want you to listen to this because this is so true. It's sad. I almost get emotional about it, but listen to this. The sad reality, this is from Laura Logan. It says, the sad reality is that Republicans are nowhere near committed into saving America as the Democrats are to destroying America. Every aspect of the Democrat Party works so hard and tirelessly to upend what America stands for. And they'll do it and be proud of it and go to the streets. And us as conservatives, us as Christians, us as traditional Americans, us as libertarians, us as freedom-minded individuals, us as MAGA, us as American First, all we want to do is battle with each other. Tucker's, hating on Lindsey Graham today. I do not like Lindsey Graham. I hope he loses. I think he is a terrible candidate. But really, should Tucker Carlson be going towards Lindsey Graham right now when he could go towards Chuck Schumer? Honestly, should the conservative base be infighting when they could go towards Zohran Mamdani and call him out on the fact that he just said everything was going to be free and the next day he said, well, I need more money from the working class, so please give it to us? My gosh, people. This is falling to pieces. That's why I say hope is lost in America unless we fix the family. And the last story before I get too emotional, because I get passionate about it. This is from the gentleman who developed the internet. This is from Mario Nawfal. It says, the man who built the web just predicted its collapse. Sir Tim Berners-Lee, the guy who literally invented the internet, just warned that AI might nuke the ad economy that keeps it alive. His logic is brutal. It says, if large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, and others reading websites to summarize what the humans need, there's going to be no reason for clicks, ads, and eyeballs, so therefore there's no advertising, which therefore there's no reason to have internet sites because that's how they make their money. It says, that's a $1 trillion domino effect that's going to destroy tons of business. Meta and Google, the twin gods of targeting advertising, still making money, they're still doing fine. But ultimately, that's why they've both moved their style of learning to AI versus keeping the same old Google search and the same Meta platforms. They're moving towards an AI platform. Now, Elon Musk said this on Joe Rogan the other day. He said, you will not have a true phone like you have now. He said, you won't have internet access like you do now. He was saying this, and he does not like Sam Altman. He didn't believe like this guy. But he said, there's going to be no such thing as going to apps, going to internet servers. He said, you're just going to have an AI, and you're just going to say, AI, this is what I want, and it's going to produce everything you want on your phone. There will be no need to search. There will be no need to open apps. There will be no need to have anything but this person looking at you that's AI. Now, that same thing is scary because what that means is every aspect of your life will be ran by this one thing called AI. Berners-Lee warned that these deep cuts in web creators will lose its way because AI will take over and make things unprofitable and actually make it to where humans will not be needed. The next web revolution is here, but it won't be built by humans at all. Now, this goes along with the story that I wanted to bring up, and this is what's so crazy. AI. Sam Altman, the leader of OpenAI, who basically robbed Elon, big issue with a non-profit OpenAI, which became a for-profit with ChatGPT. He's pretty much taken the world by storm. Ultimately, the man is very strange. There's some whistleblower claims against him. That guy, either took his own life or someone took it for him. There's a lot of shadiness. This man also has a bunker not in America. He believes in doomsday prepping. And he is now going to the government to say, look, we know AI is going to be strong and we're going to the next venture and the next step, but we want y'all to take care of the liability, meaning we want the government to back us in this. So what we're seeing is the guy who built the internet that gives independence to people to make their own thought patterns, to have independence with websites, to get publicly or privately funded. Ultimately, all that's going to be gone is what the guy who made internet said. AI will take over. AI will then become everything. Now, if AI knows everything and will take over everything, and the same guy that's over that is the same guy that wants power actually against Elon, because Elon is saying he does not want to stabilize power under the government. He wants people to have the power. And so now Sam Altman is saying, no, we deserve the power. ChatGPT, OpenAI deserves the power. We're going to be the future. And that same guy is a doomsday prepper who has a bunker, a multi-million-dollar bunker with a shady lifestyle, is not in America. And he's asking Trump and this administration to take over the liability of it. So that means they're going to not only have the power, they're going to have the backing of the full government. And so then therefore everything that we do won't have independence and other human interaction. It will be with computers. AI ran, and the government will probably know everything about you. Now most people are like, oh, Colby, they probably already know everything about you. Probably. But that independence that we've been pushing for is no longer there. The first shoes to drop is the breakdown of our family. The second shoes to drop is because of the breakdown of the family, we're seeing the breakdown of society. And the third shoe to drop is when all of a sudden all independence is gone because everything that we do is mindless and it's not human anymore. It's all AI driven and government backed. That's why this video becomes a very emotional, very hard video for me, because I have 6 kids, and I say this all the time because I truly mean it. I don't know which way to go from here. As a Christian, again, I have hope in Christ. But for an American view to say Americans going to be the city on a hill and to thrive, Republicans and conservatives can't even get along. Democrats are winning, and Democrats are pushing their narratives to destroy America more than actually make it better. We're going to become like the rest of the world, which is fallen. And that scares me, especially as the one who seeks independence, freedom, conservatism, Christian values, and has 6 kids. Pay attention. Without our families, without building up a Christian traditional family, all hope is gone for America. Just honest. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.